Good afternoon, everyone. This is Maud from Rennes School of Business, Maud Lebars. I'm very happy to be here today, invited by Truematics for telling you a bit more about why it's a good idea for Indian students to consider France as a place to study, and why Rennes School of Business could be the right place for you to go in France. I wanted to thank Truematics for the opportunity, and thank you all for following this session, and I'll start now. So I am Maud Lebas. I'm French. I'm an alumni from Rennes School of Business. I graduated in 2004, and I want to tell you I never regretted that choice, because it really was the start of an international career for me. The school is very international, so I had the chance to learn a lot of languages and to travel around already during my studies. Before graduating, I had my first job at the FAO, a UN organization in Italy. I've been working for P&G in different countries in Europe. I've been working for ADECO in New Zealand, and I've been in India and in South Asia for the past 9 years and a half with different roles. So when I had a chance to give back to my school by becoming their representative here, I took on this opportunity with great pleasure. So I am in charge of the the promotion of the courses, the promotion of the program in India and South Asia, but I have also been the chairman of the Higher Education Committee of the Indo-French Chamber of Commerce. It was for 2 years and a half. I just left that position, and that gave me a lot of opportunities to know more on the possibilities in the corporate world, also in India, for someone who has studied in France. So I'll try to mention that as well in this presentation. I'm finally also the ambassador of La French Tech in Bangalore. So La French Tech is startup hub, a startup community that is backed by the French government, and that is basically towards anything that's tech, fintech, deep tech, etc. It's the only startup community that managed to raise funds during the crisis, so it's quite noticeable. So a lot of innovation is happening there in France, and so when they were looking for a partner, an education partner in India, we were a clear choice because of the link we have with them also in other places. So enough about me. I'm going to tell you a bit more about why it is a good idea for you to consider France as a place to study, as an Indian student especially. So the first thing is that France, and I think you've seen that in the recent news, is backing India everywhere they can. On the diplomatic area, we've seen for the UN Security Council very recently, but on the defense element, so the Rafale have been fast-paced and delivered recently to India for the needs. On anything that is related to health, India helped us during the heart of the crisis, and we have been helping as well by sending 200 million euros of funds through the Agence Française de Développement, but it's not stopping there. It's in so many different sectors. So you have, for instance, in higher education, France is the only country which is having a mutual recognition agreement with India. And India has only that with France. So if you're getting a 12th certificate, a bachelor degree, a master from India, it is fully recognized officially by the French government today. And the same, if you're getting the same kind of degrees from France, it is fully recognized in India as well. And there's no other country that is having such a strong element of recognition, and I think that's quite important to notice. So there is a friendship between our two countries. For France, India is considered the sustainable strategic partner in Asia. So it is something that is there to stay for a long term, and it has not been created a few days ago. It's something that has been there for a long time, and in fact, there are a lot of benefits that are specific for Indian students. France was not necessarily only the first choice for Indian students, but we are a very important choice for a lot of students around the world already. We welcome 3.5 lakh international students every year in France already, and the objective that the French government has set was to reach 5 lakh by 2030. So it's a huge increase, making sure that the country would be appealing and interesting for students. For India, we had to convince, so one of the things that has been put in place quite some time ago now is the implementation of the 2-year stay visa post your degree, master degree or PhD. So for 2 years post getting your degree, even if the master is only for 1 year, you have the possibility to get 1 + 1 year stay visa for the sake of looking for a job. So you don't have to have it's not a work permit as such. You can work during that time, but to get a long-term work permit, you have 2 years to convince a company to make it happen for you. And when you do that, one of the advantages of being in France is that you are in the heart of Schengen. Schengen is, a group of 26 countries, the like of Germany, Netherlands, France, Italy, Spain, etc., etc. Switzerland being part of Schengen as well. UK never been part of Schengen. It's not likely to join it in the short run neither. But that means that those countries have decided to share boundaries. So you will have access to those other countries when you study and during those 2-year post-study visa, which means you have the possibility to extend tremendously your possibilities of finding an opportunity in Europe at the end, because you can travel around, you can have those interviews around. So this is something that France is offering to you. To give a perspective, France is already the 7th biggest economy in the world. About a year and a half ago, India just crossed us, all India. France being the size of Rajasthan, more or less, if you are from North India. So to give an idea, it's more or less the superficie, a little bit smaller than Rajasthan probably, approx the same in terms of population. And if you're from South, it's more or less Karnataka. Okay, and it's still already the 7th biggest economy in the world. But if you add all the other countries in Schengen, which you have access to, we're talking about the 2nd biggest economy in the world that you have access to when you come to France to study and for post-study visa time. So quite interesting. You might be willing to come back to India, and I think that's a great choice. I chose to come and make my life here as well, because this is a fantastic country. And if you're doing that, there are a lot of companies that would be interested in your profile. The Indo-French, corporate network, Chamber of Commerce, has been ranked the most dynamic across the world 2 times in a row, 2 years in a row. So it's very dynamic. A lot of companies are here. And before the crisis, because we don't know yet what will be the impact, of course, but before the crisis, I can tell you last year I was witnessing nearly every month an investment conclave from companies from France coming to India to look for opportunities to invest. I don't think it's going to stop, especially when we are at a moment where we want to be less dependent on some countries, and India can be having a chance here to take some of these opportunities. But the link with India and France is strong, has been strong for a while, and was only increasing. So that means that there are a lot of companies that would be interested, and a lot of companies here in India that will be in various sectors. It's not monosector in France. You have in the field of banking, you probably have heard of BNP Paribas, Société Générale, etc. They are massively here in India. In the field of industry, Veolia, Dassault, Thales, all those companies are here and massively here, massively investing. You have in the fields of retail, you probably have heard of Decathlon, you You probably have heard of, Pernod Ricard or of the FMCG sector as well. In the cosmetic and luxury sector, L'Oréal. You probably have heard of Louis Vuitton and etc. etc. I mean, this is very varied. So there is a possibility for to start a career in India in various sectors in those companies. But that means also that because of the strengths of the and the potential of the market in India and the interest of French companies in India, that when you are in France looking for opportunities in those companies, you will have an edge compared to other nationalities applying there. So this is another element of interest. I guess we should consider the quality of education in France as well as an important element. And I can only, give you good news on that aspect. In France, again, I'm saying it's the size of Rajasthan. You have, 1/4 of the top 100 school in the world in the worldwide ranking for finance and management in Financial Times ranking that are French. 25% of the institutions that are in the top 100 in Financial Times ranking, and that's not just this year, it's been the case for at least 3 to 4 years, they are French. In France, we have 3 schools that are in the top 5 in the world, competing directly with Harvard and Stanford for the first rank in the world. You have HEC, ESsec, INSEAD. This is our local competition. It's like having, the IIM, Ahmedabad, Bangalore, and Kolkata all together in Rajasthan. It's obviously bringing everyone to excellence in Rajasthan if that's the case. But that's what happened in France, and there is no surprise that we are getting so much of good results. So if you want to study finance management already, and I could mention many other sectors where we are very strong, mathematics, for instance, or others, I don't think you will have to be worried about quality. And Rennes School of Business is one of those schools of top quality. In terms of cost, it is also very interesting. First, France doesn't make any difference in terms of benefits given to students between international and domestic. So when you come to France, even if you have the possibility to get a lot of scholarship from the French government as an Indian before coming, this year especially, the ambassador repeatedly mentioned that they had double the amount of scholarship that they would give to students this year. So we are more than 10 crores that would be given prior to traveling, and we have been very lucky this year because our students are excellent to get 8 of our students getting these scholarships from French government before moving. But once you are there, whatever your merit, whatever your social criteria, if you're less than 28-year-old, you are entitled to an accommodation allowance that represents 30% of your rent, reimbursed on a monthly basis on your account. So very interesting again. Okay, let's say you pay 300 euros for your rent, which is possible in cities like Rennes, where the cost of living is about 6 lakh a year. Then you will be having 100 euros coming back on your account on from the French government, just like that. So I don't think there are a lot of countries that are that generous. The health, your health insurance, the public health insurance in France, we do believe in France that everyone has the right for top level of healthcare. And so we do offer you for free the access to this system as a student, as an international student. And that means that 70% of your expenses, and I'm not talking just about hospitalization, I'm talking about going to a doctor, 70% at least of what you'll be spending there to see a private doctor will be reimbursed. You go into the pharmacy, 70% at least of what you will spend there will be reimbursed by the French government. So a very interesting system that you will beneficiate from. And I think in the current scenario, I think that's a very important element to consider. I want to tell you a bit about how France has managed the crisis. Yes, I know we were in the news news at the top of the crisis for the number of cases. But I think time has proven that everyone was affected similarly. So already in the 11th of May, we were able to get out of the lockdown. And during the crisis, the heart of the crisis, we've never have reached the maximum capacity of our ICU beds. So there were some places where it was a bit more busy, of course, but we always had places in Brittany, for instance. We had never been, at the maximum of our capacity for the emergency room, even. So we were able to welcome some of the critically ill people in other regions, or even because we are part of Schengen, we were able to go when it was making more sense to go in a nearby country. This is what the strength of the health sector is in France, and today they want to improve it even more. So to manage the crisis and to get back to the most normal life we could, the French government have very early on understood that they should not let people suffer from the crisis. So it was forbidden to lay off anyone during the crisis, and it's still not allowed. They have given a lot of there were 1 billion euros of emergency fund that was given to companies that needed urgently for the treasury. There were the partial employment benefits that allowed the company to keep the people in their job even though they were not working, and pay them 84% of their normal salary, staying at home, and having this money reimbursed by the government. So these are very strong elements, and since the lockdown has been lifted up, already on the 22nd of June, the schools resumed their physical classes. There were sectorial plans to improve, to give a chance to all the sectors affected to bounce back, and it has worked. If you look at Boston Consulting Group reports on the current crisis, and you will see that France is the one that had the highest level of restart of economy, including in the automotive sector, thanks to demand, thanks to many things. Right now, we are beyond just thinking of the crisis itself, but thinking of building the economy of tomorrow. In July already, the European Union decided under the leadership of France and Germany together to for the first time decide for having common debt and ensuring there was solidarity in enabling those countries that were the most affected, mainly in the south of Europe, to rebound, because it will benefit everyone at the end. But in France as well, just yesterday they announced the 100 billion euros of relaunch plan to invest in the future economy we want, more green, more inclusive, etc. So I think you're going to a country that is very caring and at the same time already building for the future and the post-COVID situation. Okay, so now, knowing that, where should you study in France? I want to tell you about Rennes School of Business, which would be a very good choice, that on average 200 Indian students are choosing every year. Rennes School of Business is a triple accredited business school that was created in 1990 by the local Chamber of Commerce. So by companies of the region, and those companies at that time were mainly in the field of agribusiness. So I'm talking about not just farmers, I'm talking about all the things that are the transformation of the agricultural products, etc. So very export oriented, and data digital, which is again looking at international development. So they wanted to develop international talent locally, and that's why from day one we recruited professors from abroad. Today 95% of our professors are not French, and they're coming from 40 different nationalities. So that guarantees that they are teaching in English. It's 100% English medium guaranteed of instruction. And it's also guaranteeing you, because it's beyond just Europe, that it's not going to be European-centric. You will really have a global perspective on things. We even have professors from India. We have, for instance, this professor. She has a PhD from IIM Bangalore in finance. That's an example. But we have from all around the world. 55% of our students are international. There are 100 nationalities represented on campus, so that's by far the most international school in Europe. And that's not me saying, that's the Financial Times that has ranked us as such, first most international school in the world. We are a triple accredited school, which means a lot as well in terms of quality. There are about 100 schools in the world today that have the triple accreditation. EQUIS, the European accreditation. IAM Bangalore has only that one. You have AACSB, the American one, and AMBA, UK Singapore. So you see worldwide class. In India, you have only IAM Indore that just got it in January, and IAM Kolkata who have achieved this triple accreditation. So that gives you a perspective of where we stand in terms of quality. For us, it's not new. We have been re-accredited more than 3 years ago. It's been about 6 years now. So yeah, you're going to a school of excellence, which didn't stop there. We have 3 of our masters that are repeatedly among the top 100 in the world in the Financial Times ranking. Our MSc in International Finance, 29th best master in finance in the world this year. Master in Management, 51st, the Executive MBA. And our Master in Management has also been directly ranked 27th best in the world by the Wall Street Journal, the first ranking of Wall Street Journal. So you're going to a place of excellence, but at an affordable price. So we are not located in Paris. We are located in Rennes, which is 1.5 hours away from Paris center, though it's about the distance of Delhi Jaipur, a little bit more than Delhi Chandigarh, about a bit more than Mumbai Pune, approx the same as Bangalore Chennai. Okay, but you do it in 1.5 hours only, and I'm not talking about one Shatabdi a day. I'm talking about a train every 45 minutes coming and going from Paris center to Rennes. So a great place to study, a great place to live, repeatedly in the top 3 in France for that aspect. We have it's a city of a small size, 8 lakh people big, which sounds like a village, I'm sure, for you, but you have to understand that we have a 1 million passenger international airport in Rennes. We have those direct lines, and in 2002 already, 6 months after Delhi, we were getting the metro already for such a small city. So now we have 2 lines of metro. So you're getting the similar kind of infrastructure you're getting from cosmopolitan cities, but with a human size. And you are 45 minutes away from a swimmable beach when you are in Rennes. So you can really enjoy. It's the head town of the first touristic region in France, which is Brittany, where Mr. Habitat Benchad himself has a house. Okay, so I was saying that that makes it a very nice place to live, but also very nice in terms of affordability, because the cost of living is approx 6 lakh per year. Accommodation, food, local transportation, everything together. Okay, so quite interesting. The cost of our program is also quite interesting. If I can compare, for instance, you know that the PGDM in IIM Kolkata cost 25 lakh INR. The equivalent program, Master in Management, costs 25,000 euros, which is 20 lakh INR approx. Okay, so you see, we are even less expensive than some of the schools here in India. An MSc program would be costing 18,200 euros, which is approx 15 lakh INR for 15 months, and that gives you access to the 1+1 year stay visa. And on those prices that I mentioned, we are pretty generous in terms of scholarships. We do offer a lot of scholarship. So if you're considering the January intake, there are still scholarships you can apply for and get this budget a bit less. Okay, so that's for a few of the elements. We are a triple accredited school, so you can expect worldwide class of facilities in the campus. We have a Bloomberg trading room that the students that are studying finance are being trained on, getting the certificate as well. But if you're not in finance and you're still interested, you can also be part of that through our association that can use the facility outside of class time timing, class schedules. We have a cryptocurrency association. We have a lot of association in sport, in the art, the audiovisual sector, and you can choose to be part of that. It's very much encouraged for international students. I would really recommend. We have, for instance, one student this year from the bachelor program. So he was 18 when he joined the Fast Train Association. This is an association that does karting in karting competition, and they do fundraising thanks to that. So one of their main event is happening in November. It's a fundraiser for a major association, funding for research against some rare sickness. So they had the international circuit, Formula 1 circuit of Le Mans for a day. They had 90 professional pilots and their cars. So we're talking Bugattis, Porsche, and all those kind of cars that were volunteering for a day. And the association had to sell the seat next to those people, 90 euros every 20 minutes. And they have raised 35,000 euros in a day. So imagine for that young gentleman from India who didn't speak French, how much of an impact it must have had on his confidence and on his capacity to find internship in the future. So these are things that we will really encourage you to go for. Okay, so about the program, so we have from bachelor, we have a 3 years bachelor, 9,000 euros per year, so it's very affordable. That allows you to go directly into an MSc program, so get your master degree in 4 years and 3 months. So this is one option you have. Every of the program that I'm going to mention, they have one internship per year mandatory. That includes the bachelor. So every year you do an internship. Then you have the MSc in the Master in Management, a 2 years program. That's our elite program. It's a double degree track anyway, so you'll get 2 degrees whatever happens if you study for this program. First year is generalistic, so it's open to every kind of profile. As long as you have a bachelor, full bachelor with 180 ECTS, you can come from art, you can come from engineering, from sociology, from wherever you want, because we have this first year that gives you the core skills of management before you specialize in second year. This is possible as long as you're eligible and you are a strong student and motivated student. So this is another program, every year an internship, as I said. And then you have those MSCs, which are the second year of this Master in Management, or you can apply for it directly, and it's available for 15 years of education as well. And we have it in luxury, data and science, finance, financial data intelligence, supply chain HR, sustainability, sport and tourism, strategic and digital marketing, and so on and so forth. You have 13 options, plenty of options. There are 9 options from January intake if you're interested, and you will have 12 options for the September intake, and all of those are open for admission. For the January intake, you can apply till approximately the 1st of December, so you still have time to do it. If you want to apply, so you will have to go online, and Truematics will be able to give you all the details, because I think my session is about to be over, but it's pretty simple. What we want are first division students, and we want students that are really motivated. For most of those programs, there's no need for any experience. They are pre-experienced. We have an AMBA, which is for experienced students with needs minimum 3 years of experience, and it's for January, so that's an option you can go for as well. But for all the others, no need for that. If you have studied in English from 10th onwards, which I think is a majority of you guys, you don't need to provide an IELTS. Otherwise, we need 6.5 as the level. And the GMAT is not mandatory for Master in Management. The only program that requires a GMAT would be the Master in Management, but it's depending on your profile, we might be able to waive it off. GMAT, GRE, or CAT, we're okay with all of this. So yeah, that's I think that's it about what I wanted to tell you today. Thank you very much for listening to this session. I will let you in the very good hand and very careful hands of Truematics if you have further questions. And I hope to see some of you applying soon for Rennes School of Business and considering France as your place to study. Thank you very much and have a great day.